Hey, what's up everybody? It's Jesse. You're watching JLS Comics. Thanks for coming back or visiting for the first time and pressing play on the video. It is July 20th, the Saturday evening, and guess what? Marvel just wrapped up San Diego Comic-Con's Hall H, and it was one of the most epic that they've had in years. So here we are doing an obligatory Hall H recap. I want to run through the dates with you, add some commentary on a couple things, and then I want to ask you what you're thinking. What are your thoughts? Do you like this lineup? And what do you think is going to be coming down the pike? Because what they actually did was give us the first couple years, and then they left out Hulu as well, so they're leaving some room for announcements for D23, for example, that's coming up, or in a year or two again at San Diego when they need to do the remaining couple years of Phase 4. That's when those will be announced. So when they first got there, they did a really nice recap of the Infinity Saga, kind of rolled out a new logo, and then they showed all of the actual release dates. What was interesting was, and people were a bit surprised about this at first, they did 3 dates for 2020 and then 7 dates for 2021. So that's all they did next year and the year after. The thing is, these dates actually include not only the MCU theatrical releases, but the shows that will be on Disney Plus, the streaming service that launches at the end of this year in November of 2019. So they showed us the dates, and then they jumped right into one that we all know is coming up, and that is the Eternals. So the Eternals now officially has a November 2020 release date. Brand new logo for it, and then they confirmed some of the cast. So Angelina Jolie is Athena, Salma Hayek is Ajax, Madden is Icarus, Leah McHugh is Sprite, Lauren Rydoff is Icarus, and then you have Brian Henry as Faustus. So interestingly, there was a couple people that we didn't hear about, such as Cersei. Then the next thing we got was for Disney Plus, and that was Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And again, a lot of these had the new logos. So I'm going to show the screenshots from that. And with this show, it's going to be Daniel Bruhl coming back as Baron Zemo. They talked a lot about the show and the shield, meaning the actual shield of Captain America's, and how that's going to tie into it. So I'm pretty excited for that. And then we bounce back to the movies. February of 2021. There's been a lot of speculation on this film, myself included. I made a couple of videos on it. We have ShangChi officially announced, and the title for it, and again, a logo officially, is ShangChi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Now the 10 rings, of course, would tie into the Mandarin, but not the fake Mandarin, the real Mandarin. And Tony Leung is going to be playing this real Mandarin. We also got confirmation that Awkwafina is going to be in the film too. I don't believe I heard the name of her character, but her as actress, she's definitely going to be in this movie. And because they rolled her on stage, it's going to be a very prominent role. And you can see the screen captures for that. But the big thing here is that we have casting as well, officially for Shang-Chi. We had some people in the running. Donnie Yen was one of them, as a fan favorite, but Simu Liu has officially been cast as Shang-Chi. He's been in quite a few things that people have really enjoyed, and he was actually cast, so today's Saturday the 20th, he was cast last Tuesday. So that tells you, like, right up until the last minute that they were doing casting choices for this, and it came down to just a couple people. And then they went back to streaming. WandaVision is going to be in the spring of 2021, and then again, that's on Disney Plus, and they kept using the words weird. This is going to be like a weird, magical, mystical type of show. Really get to dive into her power set. But she's going to come back in a moment. I'm going to mention her again. We got a new logo for Loki. Loki comes out in spring of 2020 on Disney Plus. And this is going to deal with the Loki from 2012 and Endgame who slipped away with the Tesseract. And then we got Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. It's officially announced. Doctor Strange 2 has the subtitle Multiverse of Madness. Now, what I immediately think and what I've been speculating on for this is that when I hear the madness and everything, it's got to be Nightmare as a villain. Baron Mordo will be back. Nightmare will be the villain for this. You can watch my previous videos on it. Totally makes sense. And then, of course, like I said, with Scarlet Witch, I was going to mention her again. She is going to be in Doctor Strange 2. The events of that series are going to affect Doctor Strange 2. Very interesting. And then we got a little bit of news about the Disney Plus show called What If. It's an animated show. There's going to be Jeffrey Wright, who is voicing this character called the Watcher, who kind of like watches over all of the multiverse. It's a whole race of these ancient cosmic beings. So that's pretty cool. And then an entire murderer's row of actors from Sam Jackson to Stanley Tucci to Josh Brolin and Sean Gunn. Everybody you see here on the screen are going to be lending their voices to this What If series, which basically is going to be telling kind of what if stories about the MCU, the stories that have already been told. So that makes sense that they would bring those names back. And then we got a logo for Hawkeye, which is another Disney Plus show that's going to be taking a fall 2021 slot. And what's really cool about this logo is it comes from a fan favorite, one of my favorites, in fact, iconic run by Matt Fraction and David Aja on Hawkeye. You gotta read it, it's so good. We also got confirmation that Kate Bishop would be returning as well. And then we bounced back to the MCU slate and we got confirmation of Thor 4, which was recently announced, with Taika Waititi returning to write and direct, subtitled Love and Thunder. Now there's a couple interesting casting news here. Tessa Thompson will be back as Valkyrie. They said that she's LGBT, she's King Valkyrie, and she needs her queen, so she's looking for her female counterpart. Natalie Portman is not only returning, but she's coming back as a female Thor. Jane Foster Thor is going to be in this film. It comes out November 2021, and they did say that this inspiration from this comes from a comic book run by a writer named Jason Aaron, which was entitled Mighty Thor. So look for that if you want to see some ideas for it. And then we went to Black Widow. Everything else was filled up. They left that first slot, which is May 2020. That's when Black Widow will be coming out. And you get to see Alexei in it. David Harbour is Alexei, who is somebody that was sort of a love interest to Black Widow for a while. Alexei was this Soviet superhero named Red Guardian. He actually played Ronin as well at one point in time. So pretty interesting that they're going to have him. And we got to see Taskmaster, also Yelena Belova. Florence Pugh is confirmed for Yelena. And the slate was filled, but they did not stop because they talked about Fantastic Four. They talked about X-Men that they're working on. They also gave out hats. At the end, they showed a little bit of some footage for Black Widow, and then they gave out some hats. And Mahershala Ali was on stage. Everybody put their hats on, except his hat said Blade. Yes, they confirmed Blade is in the works as an MCU reboot with award-winning actor Mahershala Ali as the titular character. They also did Black Panther 2, Guardians 3, Captain Marvel 2 are in the works. So there's going to be a full slate. They brought tons of stuff, tons of information, and there's some curious things that are not part of this. But I want to hear what you thought of all this news. Were you excited for it? Is this cool stuff to hear? And also, what are you disappointed you didn't hear? Maybe we'll hear it at D23. Maybe that saved. Again, this one only went up to 2021. So you have 2022 all the way up to like 2024, 2025 with, 3 movies a piece for all of those. Maybe more series that we talked about with Ms. Marvel and what have you, Young Avengers, all that stuff. So a lot more to come. This was a huge filled up slate, but again, only for the next 2 years. So go ahead and leave me your comments down below. Let's continue this conversation there. And that's it for this video. I'm Jesse. This is JLS Comics, and I'll see you soon.